Tennessee. You know Bristol, 36 degrees of banking. They're steep, treacherous, foreboding. Most of today's 30 drivers have never raced here. For them, it will be a whole new experience. NASCAR, Bristol, 36 degrees of banking. All could add up to a major headache today in the Goodys Dash 150. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee for the Goodys Dash 150. We had rain here this morning, but the showers are now out of the area. It's a very comfortable, partly cloudy, 80-degree day. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Bristol and Goodys Dash Racing, the only subcompact four-cylinder touring division in the United States. It's been around for the past 19 years. This is the 9th race of the 1994 season. As we take a look at the point standings, you can see a tremendous battle going on with Edward Howell leading the standings, but the top 5 are separated by only 148 points. Now, the second 5 are separated by only 129. So from 1st to 10th, the separation only 353. As we mentioned, 1987 was the last time this series ran here. 4 drivers were in the lineup then that are in the lineup today. Here's more with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Bob. In fact, there's one driver in today's field who started way back in 1975. All 19 years involved in the Goodys Dash Series, and that, of course, is Larry Caldo. And Larry, you start outside the front row today, but you've seen so many changes in this series since you began to come here in the early 70s.
Most definitely. I think the first time that I raced over here was back in 76, 77. We ran about maybe 98, 99 miles per hour, and we picked up to almost 112 here. The banks have been changed. You got concrete. A lot of rookies in the field. Besides me worrying about my right front suspension that I broke yesterday, there's a lot of worries that all the drivers have, the tire problems, and hopefully we'll ride for a while and get the car sorted out and then go.
Well, Bob Jenkins, except for Daytona, this is the fastest place these guys will race all year long.
All right, Jerry, and with me now is Benny Parsons. All right, you're the expert. Tell me, what are we going to see here today?
I'm confused. You know, when I came here on Friday, I felt like that we'd see a lot of crashes, blown engines, cars all over the racetrack. If they had 40 cars, they'd end up with about 20 because they'd send 20 home in a bushel basket. I think yesterday during qualifying and practice, folks, one spin out. That's all. I really don't know what to expect.
It should be good, though. One car down on the grid that perhaps doesn't look like the others is, again, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Bob, the Chevrolet Cavalier here of Herb and Ernest Winslow, the brothers from Scotland Neck, North Carolina, doesn't look as manicured and probably as pristine as you might expect to see on a NASCAR's touring series. But there's a reason for that. You see, the brothers Winslow are pig farmers, and they've been very busy the past month. In fact, they have been planting peanuts and, of course, soybeans, some 2,300 acres. They said, hey, if someone will help us plant, then we'll have time to pull out some of the dents and dings and repaint the car. But don't let the looks fool you. This car qualified third. It runs a whole heck of a lot better than it looks. Bob?
Starting inside of row number 2 for today's race, and we will be back with the lineup and the start of this 150-lap event at Bristol International Raceway, the Goodys Dash 150, in just a moment.
If you really want to travel for less, bum a ride to Suzuki's truly moving, dealing days. Where you can get a great new Suzuki motorcycle for 0 down or low down with low monthly payments. So get to your Suzuki dealer any way you can.
I don't need some fancy aftershave to tell me I'm a man. And I don't need some expensive cologne to make time with the ladies. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great. It also cools my skin, tones it up, and takes care of it after a good close shave. I don't need anything more. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Skin Bracer, a real aftershave.
By Menon.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. Threats that can shorten its life. Corrosion, oxidation, acids. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that actually senses changes in the driving environment and adapts its own molecular structure instantly. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State. If the terrain or altitude changes, so does Quaker State. Quaker State virtually thinks for itself to protect your engine, whatever the conditions, so your engine lasts longer. Quaker State. The intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Now you can change to the intelligent oil and save $3.60 on a case of Quaker State. See store display for details.
ESPN Speed World is being brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. And by Minute Speed Stick Deodorant and Speed Stick Antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. And we get set now to go racing 150 laps here at Bristol International Raceway. And we check now one of our in-car cameras that will be giving you a better perspective of the race here this afternoon.
That's Edward Howell in the 07 car. Our points leader currently. The Campbell Soup car. There's
Ernest Winslow.
Car that Jerry Punch was talking about just a moment ago. The Pig Farmer from Scotland Neck, North Carolina.
Mickey York will also be carrying one of our cameras on the side of his car.
Cobra Electronics. And there's a True Value, Chris Brown out of Charlotte, North Carolina. True Value of the hardware folks.
I think we got it covered as far as in-car cameras are concerned. Let's show you now the Suzuki starting lineup for today's race. On the pole is Will Hopgood from Winsboro, South Carolina, car 65. Alongside is Larry Caudle. Caudle qualifying at 111.325. Hopgood at 345. Ernest Winslow and Scott Weaver occupy row number 2. In the third row will be Mickey York, car number 24, and Danny Bagwell in number 10. Row number 4, Mike Swain, car number 1, and 16-year-old B.J. Mackey in number 11. Row 5, veteran Junior Miller in 43, and the 78 of Chris Brown.
Back in row 6, we find Donnie Neuenberger and Dan Pardis out of Daytona Beach, Florida. Row 7, Edward Howell, the Campbell's car you saw just a moment ago, and Robert Johnson Jr. Row 8, Sherry Blakely, the young lady in the field, and Dave Stacy. And row 9, Paul Carfleet Cruz.
In the 10th row, it'll be Gary Moore and another 16-year-old, Lyndon Amick. The 11th row, Stephen Durham and David Amick. Row number 12, David Hutto and Alex Leatherwood. In the 13th row, Davis Myers and Bill Wilson. In row number 14, it's Mike Leathers and Sonny Yoakum. And taking the provisionals today, Dwayne Haynes in number 51 and Danny Snell in 26. Those are the 30 starters in today's race. Down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Anxious moment for Larry Caudle. The solenoid went dead in the car and it wouldn't crank. They had to push the car off to get it started, but he got in this position and will definitely start outside of row 1 as they come to the green flag. Up.
And the green flag waves, and here we go. Caudle with a good jump, but on the inside, it is Will Hopgood grabbing the lead down the backstretch.
This is something we haven't seen, cars side by side. There we see Edward Howell. On the outside of Mickey York's car. Mickey currently running 4th spot. Here's Ernest Winslow, the 3rd place car. There's our 2nd place car of Larry Caudle. And there's Chris Brown back in the field about 15th, 18th. Bob, these things get going pretty good for a 4-cylinder, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. Of course, they run at Daytona in February as part of Speed Weeks, but this is about the only other high bank track that these guys run on. It's Hopgood leading Caudle. Winslow is running 3rd, then York. Scott Weaver is in 5th position, and in 6th place, the number 1 of Mike Swain. And then a little bit of separation back to the 7th place car, which is the 43, driven by Junior Miller. One car coming slowly off of corner number 4. We'll keep an eye on that.
But Johnny Neurenberger's in 77 car is slowing.
And one on the backstretch also drops off the pace. That's Sonny Yoakum in car number 13. He's running very slowly at the bottom of the racetrack between turns 3 and 4, but he keeps going. Everyone passes him by.
Mickey York took a look on the inside of Winslow, could not make the pass.
Look at the driver sawing the wheel through the banking. Coming off 4, but saved it.
Almost hit the fence, almost ran in the 51 car, didn't lose a spot.
That's right. Winslow maintaining third, although Mickey York is right there on his back bumper. As we take a look, he is really sawing that wheel, Benny. He must have some handling problems.
He does have some handling problems.
And Winslow is leading this group, but the top 2 have taken off and have now almost a half a straightaway advantage on this battle for third position here as York looks to the inside of Winslow. Can't make the pass.
Well, that's the reason Mickey's trying to get by as hard as he is, because they're losing valuable ground to the leaders.
He'll take a look inside once again, but nope. The opportunity to get to the inside and make the pass just hasn't presented itself yet.
Alongside this time, and he's trying to make the pass.
Well, Jerry Winslow appears to be having a real serious handling problem out there.
Bob, indeed he does. You know, the big concern here all week has been tire wear, particularly the right front tire. If you have any kind of push in the car, you can wear the right front tire on. That's why drivers like Ernest Winslow and others have tried to make their cars virtually loose, so they drive them without having to put much pressure on the right front. In fact, Ernest Winslow and company may have made their car a little bit too loose here early on. He's having a tough time holding off Mickey York and trying to keep the car as he slips and slides on turn 4 from spinning around on him.
It would appear that way, yes. Let's take a look at what happened a few laps ago as Winslow came off of the 4th corner from the in-car.
Had his hands full there for a second.
He sure did. But he's maintaining that 3rd spot over Mickey York. York just cannot get the run he needs off the corner to get by him. And meanwhile, 1st and 2nd are now a full straightaway ahead as we go back into the pack and catch some other passing that's going on. The 84 car, driven by Michael Leathers, to the inside being passed. And there's the 51, who is Dwayne Haynes, still running low on the apron of the racetrack.
Yeah, Dwayne's got some serious problems right now. And I tell you what, we can see our leaders are in heavy traffic. There's our leader, the black number 65, Will Hopgood. The white car right behind him, Larry Caudle, in 2nd place. And directly in front of these guys, some heavy traffic.
The car just ahead of Hopgood is the 35, driven by David Amick.
First race.
Yes, first race ever for this guy. His brother, of course, also competes in this series. There's the view of Caudle. Now we've got some slower traffic between Hopgood and Caudle. A couple of slower cars. And Benny, my first impression here after the 19 laps of the race is that, you know, when we come here to cover Winston Cup racing, it usually is the first 250 laps that you see cars using that single lane. But here, they are running way up on the banking already.
Sherrick Blakely was slow down the racetrack. racetrack. Let's watch as the 42 car, Dan Pardis, comes off the corner, gets a little too high, and smacks the wall.
But a nice save by him also.
Yeah, these guys are doing a great job saving.
They sure are. Good job. 21 laps have been completed in our 150-lap Goodys Dash race here at Bristol, with Hopgood leading Caudle, Winslow, York, and Weaver. We'll be right back with more.
Dear Midas, my daughter and I were in Savannah, and the cobblestones were more than our muffler could take. At Midas, your mechanic...
Hi, I'm Jack Willis.
...gave us a free inspection, allowed us a first...
Look at this.
...to look at what was wrong, and did a better than good job. It was a good feeling to have a guarantee following us back to Indiana.
And it was nice to feel we had not been taken.
Sincerely,
Annie and Nicole Weiland.
Lots of gasolines talk performance, but no gasoline delivers it to more drivers than Shell. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
In our business, there's no timeout and there's no rest.
You're in control of a beast, if you will. You know, that's what a race car is.
You're driving at 230 miles per hour. The wind is hitting the top of your helmet, and you cannot control your head movement. Everyone dreams about running over 200 miles per hour. Everybody.
That's where we derive the ultimate satisfaction.
Back at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee, you're watching the Goodys Dash 150 from the high banks. And Will Hopgood has the lead right now.
That's from inside Ernest Winslow's car as he goes by Bill Wilson in the 00. Wilson's slowing off the pace.
Winslow is maintaining that third position, despite the fact that he hit the wall in another car a few laps ago, but saved it.
We have had a change for the lead. No, I'm sorry. That's the 97 car that's in front of the leader. I'm sorry. I thought we had a change for the lead.
But Caudle is within just a couple of car lengths now. There's Scott Weaver in car number 2.
He and Edward Howell having a great race.
Howell, of course, is the points leader in this division after 8 races this year.
Raced for about 7th spot, I believe. That 07 is the Campbell Soup car you saw just a moment ago. There's the in-car camera. Checking out Scott Weaver.
Not a particularly good qualifying effort by Edward Howell. Started back in 13th position, but now battling for 7th place with Scott. Here on the main straightaway, he thought maybe he had a run at him, but there is a slower car.
Oh, he does now.
Yeah, nice move. In turn number 2, right in the middle of the corner. Howell takes 7th position from Scott Weaver.
Those black cars, the Amy cars, that's Lyndon in 33. There's 33. There's his brother David in 35. Now, Lyndon is only 16 years old, but he's had some competition. And look at the leader trying to overtake the 97 car.
And the caution is out for the first time.
Now, this is a mandatory caution flag. We heard Larry Caudle talking about a possibility of a tire problem yesterday afternoon in practice. Very late, some cars blistered some tires. NASCAR said, look, we're going to throw the caution flag somewhere between 20 and 30 and let you guys come in and check the tires. You know, not if you want to. You are going to come in, check your tires, and make sure we don't have a tire problem. This is strictly for safety.
And the yellow flag came on lap number 29, so they gave them the long end of the window. But now, for the first time, caution comes out.
And we see Caudle back in 4th spot. So I guess that Winslow and Mickey York was able to get by.
Jerry on pit road.
Well, the mandatory caution flag being displayed, and some of the drivers were already asking the NASCAR officials and their crews on pit road via radio if it was going to come out, particularly Will Hopgood, our leader. A lot of concern, as you heard Benny Parsons say, about that right front tire. Now, remember, they told the drivers in the meeting that they would not lose their positions. They would be coming down pit road, as Benny said, for safety to check those right side tires. and be able to do nothing with the car. You can't put fuel in it. You cannot change tires. You simply come down. There's a NASCAR official here as they head down pit road. Everyone coming out of turn 4, Will Hobgood and the entire crew. As far as everyone, it is mandatory, so everyone pitting in the front stretch will come in. Here's Mickey York, and here is our pole sitter and leader, Will Hobgood. Now, you are allowed to jack the car up. As you see him going to the right side with the jack, Larry Caudill is in. Jack the car up so they can scan those right side tires and look at them. Dub Roundtree, the crew chief for Will Hobgood, looking at the right front tire. They say the tire looks okay. Now, Larry Caudill's crew, Jan Smith and company, who checks his car number 12. Now, there is no need to rush out of the pits because NASCAR said, Wayne Alton said, you would hold your position. So however you're running when the caution came out, we'll put you right back in that same spot when we get ready to go back to green. Bob?
All right, so the lineup is beginning now for the restart. We will be back for it in just a moment. You're watching Goodys Dash Racing from Bristol International Raceway.
I like to work tough, play rough every day in a truck that's number one.
$199 a month, the #1 lease deal on America's #1 pickup, Ford F-150. And this new 94 F-150 is loaded. You get an airbag, new interior, and your choice of 13 exciting new colors.
Your Southern Ford dealers, we put the country on the road. Oh, we put the country on the road.
Sunday night, June 26th, DeSoto Speedway. It's the Granger Select Race Sub-Champions. The NASCAR stars Bill Elliott, Wally Dallenbeck Jr., Chuck Vaughn, and John Andretti battle it out on the South's fastest short track. Plus, a special appearance by the King of Racing, Richard Petty, as the Grand Marshal. Get close and get their autographs. The Granger Select Race Sub-Champions. Sunday, June 26th at DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida. Don't miss it.
The Orioles and the Blue Jays tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. NASCAR's subcompact sedans, called the Goodys Dash Series, feature smaller cars like this Pontiac Sunbird, powered by 165 cubic inch four-cylinder engines. These two-barrel power plants generate some 325 horsepower. Unlike their bigger brothers in Winston Cup, they measure just 100 inches front to rear on the wheelbase. And unlike the Busch Grand National and Winston Cup cars, which carry a 22-gallon fuel cell, take a look here. Just 8 gallons in this tiny little can. Looks like Benny Parsons' lunchbox. Small but effective.
How about that? So, and there we go, the power of soup.
That's right.
Every time I turn around, they're trying to feed me something.
Food everywhere. Jerry, what they find out in terms of tire wear?
Well, let's feed you some good news for a change. I'm with Dave Watson, who's a veteran car owner, won a couple of championships here in the Goodys Dash. And Dave, you own the car number 12 of Caudle. How do the tires look?
The tires are looking real good. We were surprised. We were afraid they were going to blister, but for new tires, they're looking real good. We feel very comfortable now.
And that's the news all up and down pit road. Dub Roundtree, Will Hobgood's crew chief, says the same thing. The Goodyear tires looking awfully good here in the early laps.
Guys, so that is something we don't have to worry with immediately.
Man, that is great news. And these are 13-inch tires, because if they have a problem and blow a tire, there's no inner liner in there.
Right.
Goodyear, no manufacturer has an inner liner for a 13-inch tire. So
we've got some awfully young drivers competing in today's race. They're spending their summer going to school here at Bristol. Age 16, B.J. Mackey, the driver of car number 11. He's a junior in high school. So is Lyndon Amick, the driver of number 33. And David Hutto just turned 17. As a matter of fact, I think it was last Monday that this high school senior turned 17 in car number 97. Well, how about some graduates, former Dash champions who have moved on to bigger and better things? Michael Waltrip was the champion of this division in 83, Mike Swaim in 84 and 85, Hut Strickland in 86, Caudill 87 and 88, and Mickey York was the champion of this division in 1992. Well, we're still awaiting the green flag to come out here at Bristol and a restart after a mandatory yellow because of tire check. We'll come back with the start after this.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Now you can change to the intelligent oil and save $3.60 on a case of Quaker State. See store display for details.
At Pep Boys, you know the name brand quality of our oil filters. At other places, you don't. Once again, Oh, and you won't pay more for our quality from $1.88. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it. Just look at the selection of car care products at Pep Boys. Now look at other places. Once more. Wow. Ooh. Oh, and when you look for every one of these at just 99 cents. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
I don't need some fancy aftershave to tell me I'm a man. And I don't need some expensive cologne to make time with the ladies. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great. It also cools my skin, tones it up, and takes care of it after a good close shave. I don't need anything more. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Skin Bracer, a real aftershave.
By Menon.
In just over a half a lap, we'll go back to green and resume our competition. The top 10, Hopgood, Winslow, York, Caudle, and Swaim. 6 through 10, Miller, Howell, Weaver, Bagwell, and Pardis. Winslow and York both got around Larry Caudle in the third and fourth turns just before the caution came out. So Caudle was running in second, but is now in fourth position. That's kind of an interesting in-car camera angle, huh?
That's out of Winslow's car, the second place car. And we're back to green.
Hopgood once again gets a pretty good jump on Winslow and York.
There's our fourth place car, Larry Caudle to 12, Mike Swain, the red number 1.
There's Junior Miller in 43, who's doing a nice job right behind Mike Swain. And good then Howell is right behind Miller in 07. The battle for 6th position.
Tell you what, Bob, Howell looks like he's got a pretty good race car. There's 6th. Let's go back to the lead. We can see Winslow still hanging right on the back bumper of Hopgood. And Mickey York, obviously, able to keep up with Winslow. Mickey York must be having some type of problem because we can see this lead 3 cars. They pulled away from Mickey York by a couple of seconds.
And it looks like we had a problem with the number 20 car. David Myers may have hit the wall. Davis Myers. He is up against the second turn wall right now, running very slowly. There he is, off of 2 and down the backstretch. But Davis Myers running very, very slowly.
Tell you what, he needs to do something. Get out. Of course, cars are basically all the way around the racetrack. He's going to have a difficult time getting back down to the inside.
He sure is. There's just no big hole that he needs to get down off the 36 degrees of banking and onto the apron of the track and into the pit area.
There goes our leader, Hopgood. Now, here's the spot. Davis, turn left. Quick!
No, he's just not doing it.
Caution
now
flag.
They throw the caution. Okay, a quick report from Jerry Punch.
Well, as the caution comes out, you were asking about Mickey York, why he was not taken off with the lead twosome. Remember, Bob mentioned at the top of the show there were 4 drivers who ran this race back in '87. Mickey York was one of those 4, along with Larry Caudle. At car number 24 of York and the car behind him, Caudle, both veterans. They both know how tough this racetrack can be on tires. Now, what York has told his team is, we're not allowed to change tires under caution here in this division to save money. So So I'm going to sit here and ride and save my tires until about 30 or 40 laps to go. I know that's what Caudill right behind me is doing, so with 30 to go, then we'll go after it.
Probably pretty good strategy at that, because you do want to have some good tires under you for the last push of the race.
That's right. And Jerry, can they change tires on the caution flag, or do they have to run the tires they have on the car all day?
The rules here in this series don't allow tire changing under caution. That's a rule to try to minimize cost. A set of tires is $546 for these little cars, so it's about $150 each. They're trying to keep costs down. Even at Daytona, Benny, when they run the Florida 200 at the beginning of the year, they don't change a single tire. They fuel the cars twice, but don't change tires. Only once in the past couple of years they've been allowed to change tires, and that was on ESPN at Martinsville last year. So unless they change the rules for safety purposes, there will be no tire changing allowed under caution. If you change a tire, the penalty is 1 lap for every tire you change under caution. You can have all you want on the green, but you're going to lose a lot of time.
Finally, the 20 car of Davis Myers gets down off the banking and heads into the backstretch pit area. That's the reason that we are under caution. So we're going to stay here now because the signal has gone out that we'll go back to racing in 1 more lap.
We saw Davis Myers, the 20 car that was slow around the racetrack. He is sponsored by an international truck dealer. International truck dealer. You know where Davis Myers works? Mack Truck.
Ready to go green once again.
As Chris Brown, the True Value driver.
Mickey York getting set in 3rd position to take the green flag once again. Here's Larry Caudill, who's right behind Mickey in 4th. Ernest Winslow is in 2nd position. The green comes out, and we're back to racing. Osgood gets a good jump every time we go back to green caution, but then Winslow and others are able to pull right up on it. 33 car, one of the Amick boys, Linden, slow out there being passed.
Of course, David right behind him, keeping up with him. Looks like the strategy is that Linden's the rabbit. He's going to lead, and David's going to keep up with him.
Right. Remember, this is David's first race ever. This doesn't seem to be the type of racetrack that I would want to make my debut on.
No, I'd want to go to an 8-mile racetrack someplace. And we see Lyndon Amick. Sponsor is Amick Farms. His family's the chicken processing business down in Batesburg, South Carolina.
And he's working toward Rookie of the Year honors. Has finished strong in a number of races. Lyndon Amick, car number 33.
Oh, David's called you. Speed up. Lyndon, speed up.
Continues between Miller and Howell. That's for 6th position. Junior Miller, we've seen him run at various tracks and various kinds of race cars.
He's run a Winston Cup car for a couple of years. He's run a modified car down in Winston-Salem at Bowman Race Stadium, a Busch Grand National car, and now in the Goodys Dash Series.
And his first race in this division was at Caraway Speedway on the 14th of May, just a little over a month ago. He finished 2nd. And Dr. Jerry Punch has more on Junior Miller from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
And as you guys were saying, you know, he's been in modified racing for 18 years. He has won twice on ESPN and our coverage at North Wilkesboro Speedway of the Southern Modified Tour. He won 2 of those 150 lappers. In fact, he is doing double duty this year, running not only the Goodys Dash Series, but also the NASCAR Modified. In fact, he has 2 wins already at Bowman Race Stadium, including a 200-lap Winston Invitational win just coming a couple weeks ago.
That must be quite a switch going from the modified cars with about a 15-inch tire to these Goodys Dash cars with a 13-inch, about an 8-inch wide tire.
Yeah, there has to be quite a bit of adjustment there. There is the number 12 car of Larry Caudill, and right behind him to spin here on the main straightaway, Chris Brown spinning at the end of the front stretch. I don't know whether he hit anything, Benny, or not. The car doesn't look damaged.
Doesn't look like it. We've got an in-car camera. I hope it was up. We might be able to see some real action with Chris going round and around. Okay, Chris, stop.
Boom, it hits the wall after all. Well, that brings out our first caution because of a spin or crash here today. Chris Brown, there's his in-car camera. He's unable to move. Now he gets some assistance from some of the safety workers here, and the tow truck will soon be at the rear of that car to push it away.
Well, I told the truck that we were not up with that. Chris said, give me a push, let's go.
We thought maybe we could hear Chris barking some instructions to the safety workers, but it looks like that the tow truck now begins to push him away. Car's running under its own power now at the bottom of turn number 2, but obviously the car isn't running real well. Now he begins to accelerate just a little bit and pulls up into line. Hardware car.
And Larry Caudle there, what, 4th place car, has decided to make a pit stop.
And so has Junior Miller, 43, who was waging that battle. Jerry, what's going on?
Well, they're going to all have to pit at least once for fuel. NASCAR allows them 1 can of fuel. Remember, I told you the track back is only an 8-gallon fuel cell. Larry Coleman decided, hey, we know we can go 100 laps. We are almost to lap 60, so we're going to have to pit anyway, so I might as well come in and roll the dice. I will pit now. Will Hobgood's crew thought about bringing him in, as did Ernest Winslow's crew, but they said, well, wait a little bit and come in later on. Possibly a gamble, maybe a gamble that'll pay off for Larry Caudle.
You know, that's what's exciting about these kind of races, because there's as much strategy as there is standing on the gas and turning left.
Exactly. I think that's very good strategy. As a matter of fact, here comes Howell, the points leader, coming down the pit road to make a pit stop, put some fuel in his car.
Points leader Howell coming down for a stop, and Jerry, he's right in front of you.
Well, Edward Howell must have heard you guys, because he's definitely going to make a pit stop. See, they believe that everyone else has to pit, which is true. So Washington, they pit now, and they'll be back up front when the other cars have to pit later on, and they will still have plenty of room to stay up there. So Howell makes his pit stop, pulls back out in the Crenshaw Motorsports Campbell's car, and hoping to pick up another win here in 94.
More caution because of a spin by Chris Brown. We don't have the in-car replay, but you talk about standing on the gas and turning left. This is how you don't want to do it.
Comes off the corner, loses. Oh, he's coming straight at our camera, back to the right. Turn left, 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 left. Now hit the brake hard, Chris. Head up, baby.
He did do a good job of keeping it off the wall.
Didn't hit a thing until he finally came to a stop.
Yeah, and he was just barely moving when he did hit the wall with the back end of the car. So after 60 now of 150 laps, it's Hopgood, Winslow, York, Howell, and Weaver, the top 5. We'll be right back.
Never knew a pickup could be such fun till I drove number 1.
A lease payment of just $179 a month guarantees Ford Ranger's gonna stay number 1. And your $179 gets you a Ranger loaded up with air conditioning, AM/FM stereo cassette, and lots more.
Your Southern Ford dealers, we put the country on the road.
It's summertime, 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 Applebee's, summertime, 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 summer fair, Applebee's, summer fair, summertime. Pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, Applebee's, triple choice, mix and match, everything you want to eat, one price, one meal, lots of food, what a deal, wow, can this be real? Be there, get there, don't miss summer fair, food this cool comes only once a year, Applebee's, triple choice.
Triple your choices at Applebee's on Cortez Road in Bradenton.
It's for the rest of the world. Okay. How many people out there know who Valderrama is? Time's up. Well, Valderrama happens to be the premier playmaker in all of football. Oh, sorry, soccer. Despite playing in Colombia and having a head like an exploding root vegetable, Valderrama has 300 million fans worldwide. Most of whom think Jordan is a small country east of Egypt, which it is.
Olé! Ha ha ha!
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Bristol International Raceway and Goodys Dash Racing. The green flag comes out, and we are back to racing with Will Hobgood leading Ernest Winslow, Mickey York, Scott Weaver, and Danny Bagwell. Now your top 5.
So Mickey York going by the slow car of Paul Carr. Thought for a second it was a yellow car. It was a pass for position, but it was not. And there we see...
That's David Hutto in 97, one of the young drivers that we have in the field, 17 years old. Some of those cars that made pit stops are now trying to work their way back up through the field.
That is the Campbell Soup car. Edward Howell, we're inside his car right now, going in turn 3. We see Larry Caudle, the second car, direct in front of him.
And the 43, of course, of Junior Miller. So these guys were battling for position further up front before they came in for pit stops. And now they found each other again and are really staging a nice battle out there. Junior Miller looking to the inside of Caudle and may have him.
And here comes Howell trying to take the spot away. He does. Now Larry's got other problems because Mike Swain, the one car, is right behind him as well.
That's right. Swain also made a pit stop, and he too is coming up through the field very quickly.
That's Fleet Cruz on the inside of Howell, the 02 car. What a name is it? Fleet Cruz.
I like that. Fleet Cruz. Fourth in points in 1990 in this series. Also has experience in motocross racing. And there's an interesting story behind the name Fleet, right, Doc?
You're exactly right, Bob Jenkins. The whole name, his actual name is Norfleet Green Cruz the Fourth. Now, in order for them to be able to tell each other apart, they decided each of the 4 would take a different part of the name. One of them took Nor, one of them took Green. He decided to take Fleet. So his name became Fleet Cruz, but actually is Norfleet Green Cruz the Fourth.
Well, I think for a race driver, he definitely chose the right name. Fleet just really sounds fast and competitive.
I don't believe I'd have told that whole story. There we see there's still our race for first, second, and third. The car on the left, the black car, 65, Will Hobgood. Ernest Winslow, right in the middle, the yellow car, and Mickey York, the third-place car.
Will Hobgood, the leader of the race, coming off an outstanding rookie season. He won the Florida 200 in a race at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina last year and finished third in the points, clearly walking away with Rookie of the Year honors. So far this year, Will has 2 victories to his credit in the Dash Series.
Well, they got a little bit of problem because they've got some traffic right in front of them. And they were inside Ernest Winslow's car as he watches Hobgood go down the straightaway. He dispenses of that first car.
The way they're spread out, Benny, they're just about always in traffic. And I'll tell you what, there's a tremendous difference between the fast and the slow guys out there. When they go around, they just go around like they're shot out of a cannon. There they pass the 87 car of Stephen Durham. Winslow off the corner down the backstretch.
Wonder who's taking care of the hogs today while they're up here racing.
I don't know. Something that I'm sure you've had quite a bit of experience in. Slopping the hogs, huh? Back when you were young. Yeah.
Slopped a few.
You can see Mickey York not too far behind Ernest. As you look to the right there, York looking to the inside. Positions remain static, though, as Winslow tries to hold off Mickey.
Now there goes Larry Caudle right to the right of your screen. There's 97 David Hutto, the 17-year-old Bob was talking about, and there is Mike Swain, a veteran of the Goodys Dash Series.
Hutto doing a nice job. Started back in 23rd position. He is currently 6th in the points. David Hutto driving car number 97. Schedule in the Dash competition last year. Had some top 10 finishes. Best finish so far in 1994 has been a 3rd. Swaim in the red number 1 right behind him. Good 3-car battle here, though, with Caudle, Hutto, and Swaim.
I think Hutto is a lap down to these cars.
Is he?
Yes, I think he is. He's running as fast as they are, but... And there we see Edward Howell and Junior Miller. 43 is Junior Miller. 07, Edward Howell. And we're inside Howell's championship car. This afternoon for a Goodys Dash Series race on a Saturday afternoon in Bristol, Tennessee.
6th and 7th that we're watching. Miller and Howell.
These guys are about a half a lap down to the leader of the race.
And now here's the AutoZone race summary as we have completed 80 laps, and we are yellow once again. Will Hopgood, the leader, at 80 laps. We had no lead changes. He's been the only car that has led so far. 14 cars on the lead lap. 3 cautions for 17 laps. We're currently in our 4th. The average speed, 75.94 miles an hour.
And a huge break. This caution flag, a huge break for Hopgood, Winslow, York, those cars that did not pit because, Bob, we're getting to the point that they've got to pit. Sooner or later, they've got to pit. And a caution flag comes out, gives them that opportunity. They've got to come in and get some... Wait a minute, they're still on the racetrack.
And there is perhaps the reason that we do have the caution. That is Sherry Blakely in car number 83, who has stopped on the racetrack, or at least in the pit area. Now York is in for a stop, and so is Scott Weaver. Jerry?
Bob, your 3rd and 4th place cars, both on pit road. And Benny Parsons, you're exactly right. They jumped up and down here in the pits for the cars that had not pitted. They were excited to see the caution come out. Mickey York and his Cobra Electronics, Pontiac Grand Am, headed back down pit road. He's fuel only. Remember, they did not change tires under the caution flag. David Hutto, who was the 6th place car, the young man who just turned 17 last Monday, getting his car number 97 work. Car number 33, the Amick Farms car, also on pit road. You heard Benny mention the poultry processing folks down in South Carolina. And here is Scott Weaver, and it looks like Will Hopgood will come down, as will Ernest Winslow. The front 2 cars coming down, and they were going to have to pit for the next 7 to 8 laps anyway for fuel, and what a break. Here is Hopgood. And they are raising the hood as 65 on the top, 68 on the bottom of your screen. You watch both these cars, and Winslow is out. Here is Larry Caudill. As they have put the hood back on the Hopgood car, and once again they are going to top off Larry Caudill. Remember, 1 can of fuel, which you can pay as much as you'd like. They check the right side tires, and they are away.
Wow, wonder what the hood up on Hopgood's car meant. Didn't have it up very long. Maybe Jerry can check that out for us, but he certainly did lose the lead because of that. Well, there is the number 12 car of Larry Caudle, who's back out onto the racetrack and getting lined up for a restart of this Goodys Dash 150 here at Bristol International Raceway. Back in just a moment.
In Normal, Illinois, Gene Goebel is popular with folks who need their car fixed. He does good work, and he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Because when he needs auto parts, Gene buys a lot of them at AutoZone. You see, the prices are low every day at AutoZone. So a lot of good mechanics like Gene just pass the savings on to their customers. Plus, they can still get the best quality parts. Sure, they know how to do the work right, but they also know how to save money doing it at AutoZone.
Practice runs are over. The Katana 600.
Don't miss. Suzuki is truly moving, dealing days.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants worked the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Better than the leading stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer. Protects better. You can't ignore that. Or this guarantee. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of yours. You gotta figure anyone that serious about deodorant deserves a serious shot. Come on, take the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. I did.
I had a young couple from Sweden come into my store that was interested in buying a neon sign.
They had mailboxes, etc. We can pretty much pack and ship anything.
The first question they asked me is, how do I get it home?
It was a very fragile item.
I made an instant decision to call Mailboxes Etc. my buddy Norm.
The item arrived there with no problem whatsoever.
Norm's Norm. And he's just a cool guy.
Give me a break.
Depend on Mailboxes Etc. It's not what we do, it's how we do it.
Live Friday night at 8:30 Eastern. Don't miss a USBA Lightweight Championship. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN.
Back in Bristol, Tennessee, trouble for our pole sitter and early leader, Will Hopgood. A moment ago on pit road, they raised the hood. The word from Dub Roundtree, the crew chief, they have broken possibly a valve spring. They now are on 3 cylinders. Remember their 4-cylinder cars? The car is sputtering and missing. What a tough break for our early leader. Bob?
Indeed, he has lost the lead because of that pit stop and the subsequent hood up. The lead right now is Junior Miller in car number 43. He's the second car in line. The 78 of Chris Brown is not on the lead lap.
And there we see Junior Miller getting a great jump on the second place car of Howell.
Mike Swaim is third, then Mickey York and the 68 of Winslow.
There we see Howell finally getting by the 87 car. Now Swaim is able to get by, and here comes Mickey York. They're second, third, fourth.
The junior has put himself about a half straightaway ahead of everybody else.
Mickey York made a great call. The caution flag came out. He knew he was going to have to pit. He dove in the pits, and those other guys delayed the lap, so they're back further in traffic. I'm talking about Hopgood and Winslow. Tell you what, Mike Swaim getting a little racy here, isn't he, Bob?
Yeah, he is. He's looking all over the place.
Just don't look behind you, Mike, because there's somebody right behind.
Got a mirror full of the car number 24. Oh, they almost touched there at the end of the backstretch. Oh, Swaim takes the high line. York took advantage of an open door and picked up the position.
Mickey York, the 24 car, Cobra Electronics into third place right now. Junior Miller, Edward Howell, and Mickey York.
Then Mike Swaim and Ernest Winslow complete the top 5 for you. Back in 6th position is the early leader of the race, Will Hopgood. But he is about a half a lap now behind Junior Miller. Once again, there's the battle for 2nd position. Edward Howell and Mickey York.
And they are closing in on Junior Miller.
York is third on the most victories list in this series with 23. He's been racing in this division since 1976.
There we go. We're inside with Mickey York. Jet headrest up on the top of the screen there. I saw one of the parts trucks down there. He had about 10 or 15 of them laying on his bench there. I went back about 2 hours later. He didn't have any.
That's something that you got to have running these banks at this speed.
So all of his headrest for these fellas, because once he got on the racetrack and found out just how much pressure, force in the corner, they had to have something to hold their head up, some type of assistance.
There's Mickey York, who is currently 5th in the point standings heading into this event. Hails from Asheboro, North Carolina.
Just north of Ellerby, North Carolina, about 40 miles north of Ellerby.
That sounds familiar. Did you used to live in Ellerby?
Sure did. Will Hopgood, the black 65, just got by David Hutto.
Hutto is not on the lead lap. He's a lap down. And right now, Scott Weaver in that green number 2 car is right behind him.
There we see Weaver, and then we see how far he is up to the leaders. And there they go. And we can see
shaping up for the lead here as Howell has closed right in on Junior Miller.
And the 11th car right in front of him, B.J. Mackey, the 16-year-old young man on summer school break. Driving a race car on summer school. That's pretty neat, huh?
Well, not something that I would particularly want to do, but I'm glad he is. Oh, he came off the corner rather slow, and Junior had to cut to the right to pass him. Now Howell is up on the top of the B.J. Mackey car, and York also.
Looking, trying his best because he realizes, and Bob, I think the 07 car is fast enough. If he can get in front,
I do too.
He might be gone.
Edward Howell in 07 has won 3 races this year. He has registered the most victories. He's won at Volusia County, at Summerville, South Carolina, and at Caraway Speedway in Asheboro, North Carolina.
He beat Mickey at his home track, huh?
Yep.
He closed right up on the back of Robert Johnson Jr. That was the silver car we saw on the inside. See what happened? These guys got in traffic.
Yep.
And right now they're getting in traffic again, getting by Paul Carr, and that's going to give Junior Miller a couple, 3-car length advantage on him.
This car's getting awfully close up there. He waved to him as he went around. Mickey York did.
What he said was, back off and let me get to the bottom of the racetrack, getting in the corner. Don't race me in the corner, please, Paul. And he did.
There is Mike Swain. He's in 4th position at the moment.
This is his first race in this car. I don't know who was driving it before, but this is Mike's first race in this automobile.
Dr. Punch has the answer to that question.
Well, Benny, the car is owned by Larry and Ronald Fox. Now, Ronald Fox, who's a competitor back in the early 70s in the Dash Series, owns the car. Chris Diamond, a late model stock car driver who you've seen on ESPN a couple of times, who normally races at Tri-County Hickory Speedway over in North Carolina, has driven this car twice this year. But when they got a call from Mike Swain and said, I want to run the car at Bristol, Mike's previous race this year was at Daytona. He borrowed a car from David Watson, who we heard me talk to a little earlier, and won at Daytona. So he's running his second race of the year, and it's in a car borrowed from Larry and Ronald Fox.
Hey, Jerry, there's something wrong with that 07 car. Edward Howell has a problem. I don't know exactly what it is, but Junior Miller has just driven away from this guys, and Mickey York is all over the back of the 07.
Yeah, he is trying desperately to get around. It's not easy to pass here, and I think if he could pull well away from Edward.
Well, as I say that, now he looks like he picked up speed.
Yeah. Second and third here again, Howell and York. When they came here in 1987, Mickey York finished in 16th position, and Mike Swain, who we were talking about just a few minutes ago, was the winner of that race. Jerry, what have you been able to find out about Edward?
Well, we almost found out how he dealt with the concrete in turn 2, but he was able to gather it back in, guys. He is doing everything he can to try to hold off Mickey York for that spot. You know, he may be guilty, Benny, of trying to overdrive the car. He's got a lot at stake. If he doesn't make some money today, he may be out of business. So he is trying his hardest, driving his heart out, and he may have heated the tires up, and the car just has gone away.
I tell you what, it almost went away just a moment ago. Watch this, folks. Edward Howell up in 1 and 2. Goes down in the corner. That's the 07, the red 07. And watch as this car just gets completely sideways.
Whoa, man, laying down the dark marks even. But he maintains that second position. As a matter of fact, now he's put a few car lengths between himself and Mickey York.
Well, like I said, I was confused yesterday, and
you still are,
Still
Benny.
am, yes.
It appears to be Howell is closing in on the leader. What is this? It didn't rain it. What's the deal?
Looks like somebody's got an overheating problem. Someone has an overheating problem. Let's see if it comes back. Well, it's not his car. No, there it comes back again.
Yeah. his in-car camera, so it could be him.
I guess that's who it is. I guess he's got some type of overheating problem.
What do you think? Could it be coming off of one of the cars ahead of him?
Well, it could be. Mickey York is losing some positions
Yeah,
through the...
sure is.
I mean, some distance to the 07, so it's possible it could be coming off Mickey York's car.
And that other car there in front of him is Danny Bagwell in car number 10, that white car just ahead. Let's see if we can find out.
Doesn't see. Just a little bit up in the corner.
Yep, just it goes into the corner.
But Mickey York had a problem yesterday. He had to change an engine because he was losing water in that 24 car.
He has dropped back, although maintaining third position. We'll take another break and be back with more of the NASCAR Goodies Dash 150.
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors? I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
With Minwax polyurethane, you can do more than admire your wood. You can live with it, too, because Minwax contains pure urethane oil to protect wood while giving it beauty you can really live with. Minwax keeps wood beautiful.
Monroe Sensitrack, road-sensing shocks and struts. Designed to give you extra control during a swerve. Extra control over rough roads. Monroe Sensitrack gives you both extra control and ride comfort automatically. Monroe Sensitrack, like 2 shocks in one. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe Sensitrack dealer near you.
General Nutrition Centers has it. Cybertrim, the revolutionary body toning kit. A diet and exercise manual, nutritional supplements, plus a cassette and body composition meter. Now get 33% more Cybertrim at General Nutrition Centers at no additional cost. Here's to your health, America, from GNC.
ESPN Speed World today at Bristol International Raceway in Tennessee for the Goodies Dash 150. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bob, we told you the competition was heating up. So is the temperature inside Mickey York's Pontiac. That's the problem with the veteran driver in the car number 24. Overheating. The car getting hotter and hotter. Starting to push a little bit of water out, so he's trying to back off and hope it'll cool down and hope possibly he can coax 30 more laps out of it and make it to the checkered flag.
So that answers that question. York is dropping back because of overheating. Junior Miller still with about a half a straightaway advantage over Edward Howell, and he has about a half a straightaway advantage over York. We're still seeing some moisture on the, and the 68 car almost hit the wall. That's Winslow.
He and Hobgood were racing down in turn 1, and Will Hobgood picked the spot away when Winslow got completely sideways down in that first and second corner.
So Hobgood now moves into 5th position. Let's take a look at it again.
Here we go. There we see the yellow car is Winslow. 65 is Hobgood, our pole sitter. And Winslow goes in the corner and turns her sideways and sideways again. And wow.
Another nice save. We've seen several of those this afternoon from these Goodies Dash drivers. So Ernest Winslow now back to 6th position.
And Mickey York just blew up.
Yep.
Mickey York just blew.
And a caution comes out.
That's just the gears and transmissions making noise as they turn over. I think he did turn the engine off.
In any case, Mickey York goes behind the wall and calls it a day after running a very strong race for 125 of the 150 laps. Here's Jerry again.
Well, crew, looking beneath the hood of this Cobra Electronics Pontiac, and Mickey York is just getting the helmet and gloves off. And Mickey, you gave it a heck of a ride here today. A tough break. I guess it just came apart, huh?
Yeah, it came apart. The temperature was up and down on it a little bit, Jerry, and we just decided to keep running and slow down a little bit, but kicked a rod out the side of it. It was a good car today, but this wasn't our day.
Mickey York, a 3-time most popular driver, probably one of, if not the most well-liked driver on the entire Goodys Dash Tour, and a former series champion calls it quits. Bob?
1985, 91, and 93, he was voted the most popular driver. Ran an excellent race today.
There we see him taking the helmet off, getting cooled off.
And we'll take a look at some of the other drivers who have won the honor of most popular driver in this series. They include the late Rodney Orr in 1992, Caudle in 90, Shauna Robinson in 88 and 89, and Mike Swaim in 87. Well, Benny, we've got less than 25 laps to go in this one. Oh, here's some more most popular drivers. There's some very familiar names, including the one at the bottom.
How about it? Bill Parsons back in 1979. How about those names? Pearson, Allison Parsons, Walter, and Moroso.
I'm impressed. Before the restart, we'll take another break. We'll be right back.
Gasoline's talk performance, but no gasoline delivers it to more drivers than Shell. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
I don't need some fancy aftershave to tell me I'm a man. And I don't need some expensive cologne to make time with the ladies. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great. It also cools my skin, tones it up, and takes care of it after a good close shave. I don't need anything more. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Skin Bracer, a real aftershave.
By Menon.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, the green flag comes out, and we're back to racing in the Goodys Dash 150. The question is, can Junior Miller in car number 43, the orange car there at the top of the racetrack, hold off the other challengers? His most close competitor is the 07 car of Edward Howell. Running in third position is Mike Swaim, then Will Hopgood and Ernest Winslow with less than 22 laps to go.
Looks like Junior Miller's able to pull away just a couple of car lengths. And Mike Swaim seems to have a problem going in turn 3. Yes, looks like he's got a flat tire or something way high on the racetrack.
He loses third position and is just about to lose fourth. That's Winslow in the 68 car alongside him. And yes, indeed, he takes fourth, and Swaim is back to fifth. And just a few moments ago, Ernest Winslow gave us another heart-pounding moment. And he's still sawing the wheel. Let's look.
At around went Hopgood to take that position away, but Winslow was able to get back by. No, I'm sorry, Hopgood still maintains that position. Now back to the lead.
Yeah, Edward Howell is right there knocking on the back bumper of Junior Miller. Well, if you have saved your car for the latter stages of the race, it's time to think about seeing what it'll do.
Oh, almost lost it.
Was there contact?
Looks like there was as they came off the corner.
Well, Howell has the lead, and Junior Miller runs to second, and apparently there was no contact, but boy, it was close.
It was close.
Let's take a look at it again.
They come off the corner, and no, I think Jerry's exactly right. No contact, just got the car sideways. Right, Jerry?
Benny, there was no contact. We were standing in Junior Miller's pit as they came by. They were only a couple inches apart, but Howell was able to get on the brakes as Miller's car apparently sputtered coming out of turn 4. The concern here among the crew was that he may be low on fuel. They pitted awfully early.
Aha!
That could be.
Uh-huh. So another monkey wrench in the suit, right?
So Edward Howell, the points leader going into this race, has the lead.
Who's the guy on Gilligan's Island?
Oh, Benny. Thurston Howell III.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought
Looking for victory number 4 in 1994. And with 14 laps to go.
And I'll tell you what, there's, Will Hopgood is not that far behind him, but 14 laps. It's hard to imagine. Oh, we got a crash right in front of our leader.
That's Mike Swaim, who has crashed in turn 4. And it was close to being a 2 or 3 car incident, but fortunately everybody got by him. But Mike Swaim's car is in the middle of the racetrack in turn 4 with less than 13 laps to go.
Wow. So evidently Mike Swaim had blistered a tire and was trying to nurse the car and get it to the end and was not able to do that. I'm just speculating. I don't know that.
One other thing, of course, this does is bunch the field, and Junior Miller's going to have another run at Edward Howell, I'm sure. Here it is again. There is Swaim up against the wall, and look at the leader.
Wow.
By between the car and the wall. The 43 car comes down and picks up the lead.
You can't pass on the caution flag. If NASCAR has ruled that the caution flag was out, then Howell will go back in front.
Okay.
You cannot pass on the caution flag in the Goodys Dash Series.
All right. Mike Swaim's car in turn number 4. So with only 12 laps to go, we're set up here for a very exciting finish once they get Mike Swaim's car off the racetrack. Back with more in a moment from Bristol International Raceway.
We're gonna let you in on a secret. We make fine, easy child's play at Honda Cars of Bradenton.
Choose from our selection of brand new 1994 Honda Civics starting at only $10,999, or drive away in Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year 1994 Honda Accord starting at only $12,999. Car buying has never been easier.
So see Honda Cars of Bradenton, 3 miles north of the airport on US 41. Hurry!
We asked some real people what they thought about 89th Street Pizza, and here's just a few of their real answers.
The pizza's great. It is good pizza.
The kids love it. Price is wonderful.
It's nice and clean.
They have different varieties. Video games.
That's good. Oh, I like the price.
It's fantastic. Their pizza's really good here.
Good pizza.
It's good.
We brought 8 people tonight just to show you how good it is.
I think it's cheap for all you can eat, really.
It's not a lot of money. I love the pizza and I love the game.
Lots of fun.
I'm out. And there's no rest.
You're in control of a beast, if you will. You know, that's what a race car is.
You're driving at 230 miles per hour. The wind is hitting the top of your helmet, and you cannot control your head movement. Everyone dreams about running over 200 miles per hour. Everybody.
That's where we derive the ultimate satisfaction.
ESPN Speed World welcomes you back to the Goodys Dash 150 at Bristol International Raceway. And Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200 IndyCar race from Portland, Oregon. Can the Penske juggernaut continue, or will Nigel Mansell and Michael Andretti, Mario Andretti stop the charge by the Penske crew? Join us at 4 o'clock tomorrow for IndyCar racing. This is an unbelievable piece of video. We're inside Edward Howell's car. Watch how he handles this incident ahead of him. Wow. Now watch the 43 to the left. There he goes. But the caution is flying, and Benny, as you stated, they can't pass under caution in this series, so Howell still has the lead.
Now, NASCAR had given the cars the signal 1 lap to go the last time, but they're giving them that same signal again, but the cars, the lead lap cars, are supposed to line up nose to tail. These guys on the inside have got to get back and let these guys race for position.
So when we go green, we will have 6 laps to go.
See there again, David Hutto is trying to go up on the inside. Under the new rules, with less than 10 laps to go, the lead cars run nose to tail.
Single file restart.
Single file, that's a great rule.
We still have a couple of cars that are running to the inside, and the 42 of Dan Pardis maybe doesn't realize that's the way it happens. Nevertheless, the pace car is off. Junior Miller right on the back bumper of Howell as the green comes out. Here we go for the last few laps.
to go, 5 to go this time.
Howell, a good jump. Hopgood is third, Winslow fourth.
And Larry Caudle looks like he is fifth.
And Weaver is sixth, and those are the only 6 cars on the lead lap. 5 to go.
Looks like Junior Miller is going to close in on the 07.
He's making a run for it, coming to within 2-3 car lengths now.
Looks like he lost a little bit of time that lap around. Meanwhile, Hopgood with that broken bow spring. He's running a job, and he's running very well.
He's closing in on Junior.
Well, Junior's going to start playing defense instead of offense in just a second.
He's going to have to protect the position rather than try to take one away. Look at Hopgood. Whoa!
Wow. What it looks like that Hopgood, when he lost that power, was able to save his car like Jerry Punch was talking about. He was able to save those tires. Right now, he's got a better car than anybody.
You bet. With 2 laps to go. He's got a lot of work to do, though, in 2 laps.
Oh,
and he has problems, and Winslow goes around him for third.
Oh, look, they're going to make
the contact. Contact, and Winslow spins. Does he or doesn't he?
He hits the wall.
The white flag is out. He keeps going. No caution. We have a crash in the backstretch.
Oh, and a big crash in the backstretch. But meanwhile, these cars still racing for the line.
Here we come. It's going to be Edward Howell winning. Junior Miller second.
Caution and checkered. The checkered flag wave. This race is over.
Caudill and Hopgood third and fourth, and Weaver fifth. Boy, all kinds of things happening there. Winslow hit the wall hard in turn 4, and at the same time we had several cars that were involved in an incident over on the backstretch that almost blocked it, including David Hutto, one of the Amics, I believe David involved over there.
Also Robert Johnson Jr., the 75 car down there.
There is Winslow, who did a lot of damage there on the right side of the car.
Yeah, the tire fell off the rim down the front straightaway. This car is riding around on nothing but the rim.
What an exciting finish. Edward Howell is going to victory lane while the 68 car of Winslow limps into the pit area.
These guys will have trouble getting to Summerville, South Carolina next week for their race.
Here's a replay. This is entering turn 3.
Winslow does not realize, I don't think, that Hopgood is on the bottom of him. He comes down, they make some contact, and Winslow gets the car out of shape and just can't ever get it back. Back and forth, and he goes up and slaps the wall pretty doggone good. And Hopgood is lucky he didn't come off that wall, collect him, and turn him in the fence.
And here it is from another angle. Boy, Winslow with a nice job. The front of that car is down on the apron here at one point. There, it gets down on the apron. He comes back again, and then, boom, hits the wall just out of the 4th corner.
And then we see Scott Weaver, the green car, getting by on the inside. Pretty heads-up driving by a lot of these drivers today, Bob.
You bet. It was a very good race, and it showed a lot of maturity on a lot of these young guys' parts. Now, at the same time, here's what happened in the backstretch.
That's David Hutto in the white car, number 97. He is being passed by
David Amick.
Yes, and there's the other Amick car, Linden in the 33. He gets by.
And there's going to be a 3rd car involved. At least there was down toward turn number 3. And Dr. Punch is with Joe Smith.
Joe, a lot of anxious moments here in the pits, but Edward Howell was able to bring it home. Congratulations.
Yeah, he done a fine job today. First of all, I'd just like to thank the good Lord for a good, safe race, bringing us through it. We've worked hard all week, and we hadn't give up.
You know, yesterday you had some anxious moments. You had some engine trouble.
Yeah, we come up here with the car just a little bit low, and we kind of scrubbed the oil pan off, but we got it fixed. So I guess for me to win, we just have to work hard.
That is Joe Smith. And, guys, I'm going to remind you a little bit of a history lesson. In 1973, Joe Smith was a jackman on another car that won at Bristol. The driver Benny Parsons.
Hey, Joe. He's bringing up that old stuff, isn't he, Joe?
I thought we were going to miss the punchline of that story. I'm glad we got it in. So Howell is in victory lane, and before too long, Dr. Punch will be down there to talk with him. Junior Miller finishes second, followed by Will Hobgood, Larry Caudle, and Scott Weaver.
For 15 years, Harry Tasker's been leading a double life.
Hi, it's Helen. Is he in? Harry's in a sales meeting, Mrs. Tasker.
He's protected the country. He's faced the enemy. But when his wife finds out,
Harry,
who's going to protect him? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, in a James Cameron film.
What can I say? I'm a spy.
True Lies. Rated R. Starts Friday, July 15th at theaters everywhere.
Just look at the selection of car care products at Pep Boys. Now look at other places. Once more. Wow. Ooh. Oh, and when you look for every one of these at just 99 cents. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it. At Pep Boys, this starter comes with our lifetime warranty. At other places, you may only get 90 days. Let's see, lifetime or 90 days? Get a lifetime from just $29.99. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it.
At the end of our Goodies Dash 150, the unofficial results, Edward Howell, the winner. Junior Miller finishes second. Will Hobgood was third. Larry Caudle fourth, and Scott Weaver finished in fifth position. Our split fire winner's circle interview, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Bob. Edward Howell climbs out of the car, his fourth victory in 1994, and it wasn't an easy one today, Edward.
No, I'll tell you, let me think here just a second. Junior Miller really had that Weaver Reeves Pontiac hooked up, you know. He was good. I think he kind of snookered his own tires. He used some old tires from Daytona that had set, and they had kind of cured, and he was good. And I tell you what, Jerry, I hope I didn't turn him over there. I know I was close to him, but I think he just went ahead and got sideways by himself.
I think what he told us was that the air came off the spoiler. We couldn't see any contact at all. It looked like a nice, clean pass.
Well, I definitely don't think I touched him, and I hope and pray I didn't, because I don't race like that. And, you know, I wanted to win this thing, but I wanted to win it fair and, you know, clean and fair. And Junior's a heck of a race car driver, and, you know, I don't know what to say about this deal. It's just a deal unreal.
As your family joins you here, Martha and Jason, we might mention that you're racing on whatever you win week after week, and the word was if you didn't win today or have a good finish, you might not make it to Somerville next week.
I tell you, I'm broke. And, you know, we've got to keep running this thing. We got to keep winning to keep on going, and maybe that's why I've won 4 races this year. I know if I want to go next week, I got to do good.
Well, he is the pride of Bradley Junction, Florida, and all the folks in Bradley Junction watching their favorite son again in victory lane for the 4th time in 1994. Bob.
He got a little bit of a chuckle out of the group gathered there when he said he was broke. Hey, we had a couple of incidents on the very last lap of this race. This is the one that was in the backstretch, the in-car from Lyndon Amick.
He's on the outside of David Hutto, I think. Oh, no, that's Hutto right in front. And these guys are going to get side by side. That's David Amick, and Hutto will make contact, and around they go, and Lyndon goes right by.
Oh, and now here is Ernest Winslow's incident.
All right, he and Hobgood have some kind of problem, but now Hobgood comes back. Winslow has no idea he's anywhere in the world. Listen.
He still came back to finish 6th, and Dr. Punch has made his way over to talk with Ernest.
And they're smiling here, believe it or not. We told you that he and his brother were pig farmers, and you knocked the pork chops out of it in that final lap up in turn 4. What happened?
We had a good run going, and we're coming down the back straightaway, and got a good clean pass on Hobgood, and we got in turn 3, and either I got a little turn a little loose, or, you know, we got together. It's just hard racing. We had a daggone good time. This XL Manufacturing and P&L Transportation. Oh, man, we hope we put on a good show for them, and we're just fortunate enough to have finished in good shape. I had a little bang up, but we're going to Somerville next weekend, so looking forward to it.
Looks like you were just barely hanging on at the beginning. You were sideways about half the time you were doing your Dale Earnhardt imitation up in 1 and 2. Was the car just that loose?
The car was pretty loose. I had tightened it up just a little bit after qualifying, and we got in there and ran, and I like a little bit of a loose one, but it's a tick loose when I wanted it today. When we took that fuel on, it tightened us up a bunch, and it was ready to go then. And I was just trying to save her for the last 10-lap run. And misfortune, we got together and finished 6th, so, you know, we're in good shape. I think we had a good run for the first time here.
Ernest Winslow, we told you at the top of the show, they had been working on the farm at that time to make the car look pretty. Now they're going to have to make time. This car needs a little bit of work, guys.
That's for sure. And Ernest said he had a good time driving out there today, and we had a great time watching these Goodys Dash competitors here at Bristol International. We're back to wrap it up in a moment.
Here's another split-fire breakthrough. Twin-core wire sets with a dual firing path to every plug.
Now, without touching a tool, if you've got 23 minutes and this box, you've got all you need to give your car 15 times the ignition power of original equipment wires. Supercharged ignition means more power at any RPM and more miles per gallon. Here's power that pays you.
More power and more mileage for your money back.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a street engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates.
Well, how hard do you want me to push it today? Whatever it takes to win.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors. I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, the Goodys Dash 150 won this afternoon by Edward Howe. When you think of the Goodys Dash Series, at least for 1994, your memory has to go back to Daytona and the Florida 200 when a young man named Dave Stacy had this incredible ride. Now, that's David Hutto there in 97, but watch the number 6 car to the left of your screen. Watch him go over the banking and into...
Come on, David. You did it before. There we go.
Lake Lloyd.
Wow.
One of 3 drivers to do so. And believe it or not, when everybody came here this weekend, there was a new T-shirt offered. Right, Jerry?
Exactly right, Bob. Dave Stacy has named his racing team H2O Motorsports. And this T-shirt he has for sale says, "We put the splash back in Dash." That's the back of the shirt now. The front, I'll turn it around. It shows him sitting on top of his car in Lake Lloyd with a big fishing pole. And the sign there shows the 2 other drivers, making him the 3rd in the history of Lake Lloyd, Daytona Beach, Florida, who have gone in the drink. All 3 able to swim out, I should say, okay. And, of course, Tommy Irwin, Bay Darnell, and Dave Stacy, the 29-year-old Ohio driver, now selling these T-shirts to his competitors and to some friends to poke a little fun at himself.
Bob, get them while they're hot or wet or something. Stacy didn't have a very good day here. You'll see in a moment he finished 26th. Let's take a look at the unofficial results of our race here today. There's the top 5: Howell, Miller, Hobgood, Caudle, and Scott Weaver.
6 through 10 this afternoon. Ernest Winslow, Pardus, Bagwell, Hutto, and Gary Moore was 10th.
And 11 through 15, B.J. Mackey, Lyndon Amig, David Amig, Lee Cruz, and Paul Carr.
16 through 20, Durham, Brown, Swain, Mickey York, and Robert Johnson, Jr.
Finishing in 21st was Mike Leathers, then Danny Snell, Sherry Blakely, Dwayne Haynes, and Sonny Yoakum, 25th.
26th position this afternoon, Dave Stacy, the 6th car we saw just a moment ago. Yep. Not a good day here at Bristol either. Davis Myers, Lyndon Amick, Bill Wilson, and Donnie Neuenberger.
Those are the top 30. Now let's take a look at the point standings. Howell hangs on to the lead. Larry Caudle moves to 2nd. Will Hobgood is 3rd. Gary Moore falls from 2nd to 4th. And Mickey York is 5th in the standings.
And then 6 through 10, Hutto, Winslow, Brown, Weaver, and Danny Bagwell.
Donnie Neuenberger came into this race 9th in the points. He has fallen from the top 10. We will see you this coming Saturday morning at 11 o'clock for the Pepsi 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Can't wait for the halfway point of the 94 season. And we'd also like to tell you that we will have an all-pro race, a Slim Jim all-pro race from right here at Bristol. It'll be on Tuesday night here on ESPN, so join us for that. My thanks to Benny Parsons and Jerry Punch. This is Bob Jenkins. Thanks for joining us from Bristol. So long, everyone.